Today at the Linux Certification Virtual Summit, we have Glaysson Barboza. He is an IT professional with more than 12 years of extensive hands-on experience in system administration, troubleshooting, networking, firewall, visualization, automation, and database management. Hi, Glaysson. How are you?
Hi, Tiffany. I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. So, tell me, who is Glayssalon?
Well, as you said, I'm a IT worker and I'm Brazilian with more than 12 years of extensive hands-on experience in Linux infrastructure. It means system administration, networking, firewall, troubleshooting, scripting, and also database management. And I'm certified in Linux LPI3 mixed environment, Cisco CCNA routing and switching, Oracle Database OCA 11G, and I2IL Foundation.
Wow. So, in addition to the LPIC 3, you also have Cisco,
And
Oracle,
Oracle.
yeah, and ITIL. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, how did you Okay, so what certification did you get first? Was it the LPIC 3 or did you get your ITIL? I'm just really curious to talk about your realm of IT certifications. It's fascinating to me.
Okay. I start with LPI level one, LPI one. I believe this is it is the very starting base for everyone who wants to get into the Linux world. Because LPI 1, you have all the fundamental about the system, the operating system. So I start with LPI 1, second LPI 2, and now LPI 3.
Perfect, perfect. So, how did you get introduced into the world of Linux?
Well, that was funny because a friend of mine introduced me Linux as an alternative to proprietary operating system. And right after that, I just installed and configured Linux on my own computer to use at my desktop and try to understand how it works and the main concepts and how to start applications and etc. In my personal opinion, I believe that command lines are more efficient and objective compared to other systems based on GUI. That's what fascinates me about Linux operation system. And I should say that unlike other IT guys, I started my IT career using Linux. Linux was the first one as my desktop, and just my curiosity leads me to know more and more about Linux and obviously about the open source community.
Wow, that's great. So, you started off using Linux.
That's right.
Perfect. Do you remember what distribution you started off using?
Yes, I remember it was a Slackware.
Oh, I
Wow.
don't think I've heard of that one before.
Yeah, Slackware is a hard Linux distribution because
Okay.
this is more close to Unix operating system, but was a very good start because once you have difficulties, you fight for it. You really want to overcome that. So good start.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a wonderful start. So going back to the LPIC 3, what does it specialize in with the mixed environment that you have? So I know you have the LPIC 3 mixed environment. What does that, specialize of anything?
Okay, I choose LPI3 specializing mixed environment because this is and it's pretty common to see the two main major topics in the market: OpenLDAP and Samba. This is a lot of companies really use these technologies, so that's why I'm focused on LPI3 mixed environment.
Can you repeat that again? You said there was LDAP and what was the other one?
Okay, LPI3 mixed environment basically focuses on two major topics: OpenLDAP and Samba.
Gotcha. And Simba, is that a server or what exactly is Simba?
Samba is a service that you can
Okay.
configure to share resources between a Linux computer and other operation systems, just like Microsoft. So Samba is a way to interact with another operating system, and also you can share some resources. You can use Samba as an Active Directory domain controller, and also you can use Linux as a domain member. So Samba is a wow, is a huge topic.
Yeah, this is amazingly my first time hearing in depth details about Simba. Like I've heard of it, vaguely, but wow, I didn't know it can do all of this pretty much.
Yeah,
Great.
and that's funny because it's pretty common you see in many enterprise and many companies out there, companies using Samba as an alternative to proprietary softwares, proprietary operating system, just like Microsoft Active Directory. Samba could do exactly the same thing as an Active Directory, so it's a good solution.
Yes, a great solution. Thank you for that information. So, before you took the LPIC 3, how did you gain the amount of experience that you needed? I know you did mention that you have the LPIC 1 and the LPIC 2. So, were those two exams did those two exams give you a combination of experience that you needed before you took the LPIC 3 mixed environment?
Yes, definitely. I believe when it comes to LPI certification, you have a step to go. I mean, you start from the fundamentals, so the essential services, and until you get the enterprise level. So yes, definitely, what I learned in LPI 1 and LPI 2 helped me a lot to succeed in LPI 3 mixed environment exam.
Okay.
Definitely.
Perfect. So, how did you prepare for the LPIC 3 exam?
Well, I should say that working experience is the best way. But for those guys that is not working with this kind of technology in your the company current working for, using virtual and lab environments, you are able to really simulate and implement what you need to succeed in LPI3. So, for example, you can create using the hypervisor that you prefer. You can create Samba as a Active Directory domain controller. You can also implement the Samba version 4 to do the same tasks. You can create Linux and using Linux as a domain member. And also you can create a LDAP server to authenticate usings and use the replication features. So nowadays we have many resources to practice all the topics that LPI3 mixed environments cover.
Great, great. So, you said you should have a virtual lab to practice in. What virtual lab did you use? Was it, say,
Uh,
VMware or something?
okay, I have two. I use two. One is VirtualBox, is from Oracle, and another one is KVM. This is a Linux virtualization, so it's pretty good. Both do practically the same things. So I recommend you one of those.
Yeah, I use VirtualBox a lot as well. So
Yeah, it's
I,
a good
I
application.
attest. Yeah, and plus it's free. So, you can
Yeah,
never
both
go
are free.
wrong. Yeah.
Oracle, VirtualBox, and KVM based on libvirt, so you can use it.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Okay, so what was your studying routine besides just the labs? Did you have any books that you read?
Okay, basically, my study routine was divided in two parts. And first one is about concepts. I mean, you really have to understand the theory, the fundamental knowledge, understand what each company of Samba and LDAP does, the purpose of each one. This is extremely important because in not only in the exam but in real life situations, you have to understand in deeper, in great detail, which companies, what the function. Because if you have some problems and issues, you have to understand the theory first before you act and take actions to resolve the problem. And the second part was about practical. So you really have to practice what you learn. For example, implement the solutions using lab environment, validate the solution, test. You have to execute each command line and see and analyze the results. because, for example, in some certifications, so if I remember well, in the LPI2, you have some results of a command, and you have to choose, and you have to choose which command accomplish this. So you really have to practice. And I took at least 2 hours per day practicing and writing summaries about the whole topics.
Okay, so practicing and writing summaries. I think that's a great study
Yeah,
routine. Yeah, yeah. Because it helps you, when you write things down, it helps you remember them quicker as
yeah, it
well.
help you to memorize. Yes, if you're only reading is not as effective as writing. Definitely.
Yes, yes. Great advice. So, how long after you received your LPIC 2 did you begin studying for your LPIC 3?
Well, in my particular case, I took more than a year, because I was involved in other projects and other technologies. But I really advise people that are interested in taking the LPI 3 to do that right after LPI 2, because you're going to use a lot what you've learned. For example, editing files, start and stop services, enable them at booting time, backups, identify if a service is running, investigate log files, and also configure networks. All of these are essential skills you're gonna use in LPI 3 exam.
Great. So, you mentioned a great vast of things that folks need to know. In addition to that, are there any particular advanced commands that people should know for the LPIC 3 exam as well?
Yes, we have. But before that, I would like to just give you some tips about particular resources and materials on the internet that could help people to achieve your goals about certification. So, for example, go to openldap.org is a web page of OpenLDAP. They have a lot of documentation, a lot of tutorials and how-tos that could help you. And number two, Samba.org is the web page of Samba, and man, they have a huge documentation of both versions of Samba, version 3 and version 4. And number three, we have I found a website in ibm.com/developerworks/LPI. They have a huge material about LPI version LPI 3 and 2. And for the last one, Red Hat offer publicly a document called Windows Integration Guide. You don't need to subscribe to this. So just Google that name, Red Hat Windows Integration Guide. It also will help you a lot.
Perfect. Thank you for those 4 specific tips. So we have the openldap.org.
.org.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then we have the Samba, what was
.org.
Samba.org. Then
Yes.
the next one was the LPIC 3 book.
No,
Oh,
ibm.com
IBM.com. Okay.
/developerworks/linux/LPI.
And
And the
then,
four,
yep, go ahead.
Red Hat. And the four, Red Hat Windows Integration Guide.
Perfect. All great sources to help someone go ahead and pass this LPIC 3 mixed environment. Thank you so much for that.
Okay. Could you repeat the question, the last one?
Yeah, it was how long after you received your LPIC 2 did you begin? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was, are there any particular commands that you feel someone needs to know before they take the LPIC 3 exam?
Yes, it is. For example, there's a command line. It's called WB info. It stands for Winbind info. So you really need to know that command, because using the -u you can list all the users, and -g you can list all the groups. So this is extremely important for the exam, and not only for the exam but in real life situations. We have another one. It's called test parm. Test parm is an amazing command. Test parm is like your best friend, because they will help you to identify any syntax errors in your Samba configuration file. So, for example, once you go to smb.conf and you put some configuration there, run test parm, and they will show you if you have some mistakes or something.
Task Palm, great.
Test parm, that's great.
Yeah.
And also we have a net adds join. That command helps you to join a Linux workstation or server to Active Directory domain. Wow, this is something.
Yeah, this is something. Great. That's wonderful. So we have Task Pawn from Simba.com. Then we have the joining command, which is called network join or net
Yes,
join.
network,
Okay, net.
ADS join,
Okay, ADS
and
join.
WB info.
Yes, perfect. All right. So how many questions are on the exam? And is it a hands-on exam or multiple choice?
Okay, it is a multiple choice exam and fill in the blank. So you have both kind of questions. In total, we have 60 questions, and you have 90 minutes to complete the exam. So you have 1 hour and a half to complete all the questions, and it means they have at most 1 minute and a half per question. So make sure you are managing your time accordingly. And plus, the total points in the exam are 800, and the passing score is 500. After the exam, you will receive a section detail report in which you can see your percentage per session per topic, and that's pretty good because after the exam, if unfortunately you fail, you will have a percentage of which topic you have to put more effort. Each topic you have to study a little bit more.
Great. So, how did you navigate taking this exam? I know it was 60 questions for 90 minutes, and you did mention time management. Was there anything specific that you did?
Well, as I said, there's a multiple choice and fill in the blank exam. Well, sometimes you have to choose all answers that apply, and you will also have to provide some command line. So get ready to know the comments, and sometimes you have to really write the comments. That just a space you have to write them, and also get ready to see not only direct questions but also some real life situations. For example, the exams gives you some context about an issue, and he asks you what actions could you take in order to solve it.
Wow, great, great. So it's kind of like giving you real world questions where you just
Situations.
need to, yeah, fill in the
Exactly,
box. Yeah.
exactly.
Uh huh.
That's good about LPI 3. Not only LPI 3, but all of the exams on Linux Professional Institute, they don't really focus only on theoretical fundamentals. They really ask you to think about the situation, to think and proactively and try to solve the issues, solve the problems that we will face in the market.
Great. So, how difficult is the LPIC certification exam compared to, say, your other Linux certification exams? Or just compare the difficulty to the other certifications you have, like the Cisco, CCNA? Even though I know they're in different factors of IT, how difficult is the LPIC compared to your exams? Others.
I have to say that this exam, this enterprise exam, will cover the topics in more detail. So a deeper understanding is required. That's why I'm saying too much about theoretical, fundamental, and also the practical. So this is an enterprise level certification, and so a real life situation will be constant present, and exam takers must be aware of all possibilities to resolve effectively the issues. So this is not only to choose the right answer, but sometimes they have a closest answers, closest possibility. You have to choose the one will be the best option. What definitely will resolve the problem. And wow, that it is.
Great, great. So, how has being an LPIC 3 Linux mixed environment enterprise professional impacted your life?
Okay, LPI is a reliable Linux certification, widely used in hiring process and HR process. So this is pretty common. You see when they are looking for a job in the okay, we need a professional that have LPI 3 or 2. And moreover, LPI is a distribution neutral Linux certification, which allows you to work with different Linux distributions. For example, Debian and Red Hat, SUSE, CentOS, all of them. So they don't focus only on a specific Linux distribution. This is a advantage of LPI. And as a result, you can apply the knowledge you gain studying for LPI 3 exam in many environments. So being a LPI 3 certified professional, I have more visibility, I believe. And great companies are looking for experienced professional. And I'm sure that LPI 3 helped me to be where I'm now. So that's the thing, visibility, and also a way to have a career, to follow the right steps.
That's great. So visibility, it's
Yeah.
it's it is big too, and companies are looking for people with Linux skills, and particularly people that know how to use different versions of Linux. So I totally agree with you there. Has
Okay.
the quality of your life changed in the sense of, are you receiving more job offers? Are you receiving more pay advantages?
Okay. Linux certification helped me a lot to be a better professional. Okay. For example, I usually say that certification is not about the certificate itself. It's about the destination. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. I mean, the process of studying, reviewing what you already know, learning new things, and measuring your level of expertise. That's so good. That's definitely impacts your life. And I mean, if you get more money, this is just a direct result of your effort. And I have to say, yes, some job offers came when you are a certified professional.
Great. I love how you mentioned it's all about the journey. I think at times when we're studying for certifications, we forget the journey and the process of learning. So,
Exactly. People
yeah.
focus only on the result, only the certificate. Okay, that's good. Well, that's good. That's a market, right? We have to have this kind of certifications, but the process is the better. You gain a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge with that.
Yes, yes, totally, totally. What advice would you give a person who's interested in taking this LPIC 3 mixed environment exam? Say they're afraid, they just got done doing the LPIC 2, their brain is mentally exhausted, but they know they want to go further and take the LPIC 3 mixed environment.
Guys, I know exactly what you feel. We are on the same wavelength. We are. The fact is, the more confident you are, the better to take the exam. So I strongly advise you guys really to implement the solutions. Implement both Samba and OpenLDAP. Understanding the authentication methods available, LDAP security options, and also the TCP and UDP port used by the services. That's important. And focus on roles of domain controller and domain member, and how to share resources using Samba, how to restrict them, how to allow on a specific user or group. And guys, manage your time. Be aware of the time given to you in the exam.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for all of those gems. That was great. So, you have Cisco, CCNA,
Yeah.
OCA, ITIL. How much of Linux is required, say, or did you need to know Linux in any of these certifications that you had to take in order to pass, like commands wise or anything like that?
Well, I don't believe you have to learn Linux in order to be a professional using Cisco or Oracle database. But for example, Linux and Cisco, they have similar command line structure. For example, Linux is used along with networking skills. So many servers that you configure in Cisco devices, you can also implement in Linux. For example, DHCP server, configuring routings, and network address translation, IPv6 addressing. So they have a common serves. So this is an advantage for a Linux professional. If you already know these services and concepts, definitely it will help you to work with Cisco equipments as well.
So, in your current job role, have you noticed some of the objectives you've used or needed to know from the LPIC 3 exam you apply in your everyday role?
Yes, a lot. Most of Linux workstation and servers that I have in the company I work for are domain members of Active Directory. So the command lines that I mentioned, like NAT, ADS info, and WB info, even SMB client, that's a command that you list and access shares. And this is a part of my day. Yeah. And I have to say that I have a mixed environment in my company. And so I could apply all I learned in the process of taking the LPI 3 exam.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, not
Yeah,
only did you take the exam and pass it, you're also working in the environment that helps you sustain learning what you learned from the exam with all your preparation. That's great.
yeah, I lived that.
Yeah, like not too many people after they take their certifications and go to a job can say that what they've learned to do before taking the exam they actually do now in their day-to-day job. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, you are a lucky man.
Yeah, I am.
Great. So what is your favorite Linux distribution?
Well, we have so many Linux flavors, right?
Yes.
But I have to say that I really like to work with CentOS.
Oh, me too.
CentOS. It stands for Community Enterprise Operating System. Well, it's a Red Hat based distribution, uses RPM package management. It is stable, and you have a lot of documentation available on the internet. So
Yes.
that's why I like this.
Me too is one of my favorites as well.
In the company I work for, I have CentOS, I have Red Hat, and some Debian operating systems. So, wow, CentOS definitely is my favorite.
Yeah, CentOS rocks, right?
Rocks.
So, what blogs, podcasts, or online forums do you monitor to keep up with Linux and things of that nature?
Okay, CentOS web page and forums are helpful, as well as Fedora homepage. It's another Red Hat based distribution. The Red Hat documentation itself is pretty good. They have a lot of public documentations that can help you to make your skills current and make yourself up to date as an IT professional. Debian homepage and also LPI have a wiki page, so that's pretty good. They put a lot of information about new technologies and new releases of some services on the application. Now that's good.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's always great to keep reading and keep your skills current after you've completed your goal. I think
Exactly.
yeah,
That's a way to beat the competition.
that's right. You always got to stay on top of the
Yeah.
competition. Great. What is your view on certification versus experience?
Okay, that's something. I've seen a lot of people saying that certification, only certification itself, is not something that could really improve your life. But I believe that we have to find the perfect balance between experience and certification. Because once you have experience, you really want to measure your level of expertise. So certification is a way to do that. And sometimes companies are looking for experienced professional that we knows are specialized or specialty in some topics. And if you have a certification that you are proving, you are saying to the company that, okay, I am able to do this, and so let's gonna work together. That's a huge topic, I believe.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree. And then there's some places that want you to have so much experience, but how can you gain that experience if you're, say, new to IT and you don't sit down and learn how to pass this certification by studying for it, you know?
Yeah, I know. For example, if you don't have experience, you don't have if you're not working with what you trying to achieve, certification you're trying to achieve, you are really to read a lot of documents and books. And as I said, virtual lab environments are a good way to practice, to implement the solutions, to understand how it works, and when the time comes, you will be ready.
Are there any new certifications in your future?
Yes, sure. Definitely. Well, a certification is a very good way to maintain your IT skills current and up to date. Now I'm studying to take the Red Hat System Administrator exam
Hmm.
as well as Red Hat Certified Engineer.
Okay.
Uh, because Red Hat in enterprise that really need a support level are so present in many of corporations. And the company I work for, we have Red Hat too. So I'm sure that the knowledge I got from LPI exams will help me to become a Red Hat certified.
Great, great. That's actually the next certification I'm going after as well. Do you have a plan besides the experience that you have on what resources you may use to help you study?
Well, in that case, in that particular case, Red Hat has some documentation on the web page that could help us. At least for the first one, the Red Hat System Administrator, they have some books about fundamental command lines and how to configure the system. And because now Red Hat released the not now, but released the version 7, so there's some difference between the release on 6 and 7. So Red Hat documentations is the way to go.
Perfect. I agree. I totally agree with you. I just want to say thank you for taking the time out today to speak with me. It's been a true pleasure that you gave your knowledge about the LPIC 3 mixed environment and you gave great content to our listeners. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure for me to help the open source community.
Yes. Take care.